Hello everyone and welcome back to the Jedi and the Jar Jar. We're going away with our original intro because I find it annoying every time I watch it now and I cringe at myself. So today...
I'm sure nobody will be cringing at this moment.
No, nobody will. So today we got a few new topics for us. I'm joined again with Anthony and Blake.
Hello.
Today I figured we would do some Versus series stuff since you guys really seemed to enjoy it in our last episode. In the Anakin versus Kylo Ren, which is something that we only really talked about for a few minutes there. Mm-hmm. But again, when you title podcasts, you kind of got to just pick something and then go with the rest of it. Anyway, today though, we're going to have a full Versus series episode. The only thing that we're kind of going off on is a little bit of Star Wars news. There's not a ton of Star Wars news at all, so we're just going to talk about the little that is going on in the fandom. This whole quarantine has really screwed everything up as far as news goes with Star Wars. There's literally nothing.
It screwed up a lot more than just the news.
But that's the thing I'm most upset about, is the lack of Star Wars.
So our first fight is going to be who would win, COVID-19 or Darth Vader?
Darth Vader would win. His suit would filter out the virus.
That's a good point.
He
is elderly.
No, he's not.
Well, I guess we have a winner.
Wait, what's his age?
He's like 50-something when he dies. He's like Anthony's age.
Oh.
So he's fine.
Yeah, if Anthony's good, Darth Vader's good.
If Anthony's fine, then Darth Vader's fine.
Yeah, for sure.
25.
Like, Anthony's...
You don't look like it.
Yeah, you don't look...
Who would have thought that all of this bullying would make it here?
Anyway... So our first fight that we're going to go with is actually Darth Vader, now that it was brought up, versus Anakin Skywalker. I feel like we're all going to have very similar beliefs on this one, but again, guys, leave your thoughts below. Call us idiots if you would like to. That certainly occurred in the last episode as far as...
You're not wrong, by the way.
Me saying that I liked the character of Kylo Ren more than Anakin. That kind of stirred up some controversy. Anyway, though, let's go ahead and kick it off. Blake, Anakin versus Darth Vader. What do you think?
Darth Vader would win.
That must hurt to say for you.
And it won't be even close.
It wouldn't even be close?
Not even close.
See, this is why I let you go first, because you're so wrong.
Like, wait, which Anakin? Like, Prime versus Prime?
Yeah, Prime versus Prime.
Wait,
You're just going to change your answer because I disagree with you.
What's Prime Darth Vader? Suit or no suit?
What are you talking about? No,
He's saying
I guess
Darth
that's
Vader.
a viable question. No, his suit.
Yeah, it's still Darth Vader.
Because the real identity of Darth Vader doesn't show its face until after he's in the suit. Mm-hmm. And he, has to embrace all that stuff. So, why? Why Darth Vader over Anakin?
Okay, so obviously Anakin is more natural with the Force. We all know that. But Darth Vader knows how to use the Force way better than Anakin. And he's trained more. And he has way more training, even though Anakin did have, the Clone Wars and, more training with Obi-Wan. Darth Vader literally was killing Jedis, hunting them down, and just killing them all by himself. Obviously help with, stormtroopers and everything. Also, he was just, when you're in that mask, you have to, within that suit, you have to protect yourself. And, while at the same time,
Anakin never really had to protect himself in the way that Vader has to.
Correct. Yeah, Vader's whole training from Palpatine from the moment he becomes Darth Vader is literally just Palpatine throwing him out into the galaxy and going, all right, do this thing that I ask you to do. It's going to suck. You're probably going to die, but if you can make it out, we can keep doing this. And
it's very limited.
Yeah. He's just he's definitely a lot rougher around the edges. He's more powerful in the way that he's experienced just so much more trauma and had conquered it all and is smarter in the Force than Anakin is. He has more training.
Yeah,
Anakin's faster, so maybe. But maybe.
his big mess up with Obi-Wan was a giant lesson.
Yeah.
And it's pretty much if you could take the mind of Darth Vader and put it into Anakin Skywalker, he would literally be unstoppable.
He
would be the GOAT. Even maybe he could defeat a character like the entity Palpatine, which is crazy because I think that Palpatine is the most powerful non-entity character in all of Star Wars, and I think that it's pretty clear, especially from the Rise of Skywalker and after the novelization said that he was weak.
Yeah.
It's really clear to me that I think that Palpatine is the most powerful, entity, and by that I mean like the Force priestesses are obviously probably more powerful.
Yeah.
But for me, like, I'm gonna take Darth Vader too, just because I feel like we have seen the closest thing to Darth Vader versus Anakin Skywalker in Return of the Jedi. I feel like Return of the Jedi Luke is pretty comparable to maybe in the heat of the Clone Wars Anakin. I think the Anakin in Revenge of the Sith is more powerful than Return of the Jedi Luke.
Yeah, but at the same time, you're dealing with a weaker Vader.
A conflicted Vader.
He's conflicted.
And I think that if Darth Vader were not conflicted, and that's confirmed in both Legends and canon now, is that Darth Vader is not at his prime in Return of the Jedi. He's more at his prime immediately after A New Hope in Legends, actually, because he's filled with a sense of urgency after the discovery that his son is alive. And that kind of seems to be a little bit similar in canon, but it's not really revealed to us when exactly that prime is. But I'm going to take Darth Vader as well.
Yeah.
I think that Darth Vader's suit and his lightsaber form and his familiarity with Anakin would let him stonewall Anakin's brute force attacks. I definitely don't think it would be easy. I think Darth Vader may even potentially die from injuries that is sustained over this fight, because I think it's really close. Again, in my mind, Revenge of the Sith Anakin is more powerful than Return of the Jedi Luke, and I still think even a prime Vader would struggle with Return of the Jedi Luke. I just think like it'd be really tough.
So out of 100 fights, how many would Vader take, you think?
Maybe 60.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. Maybe like even like 55. No, like 55.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's super close. Like I said, Anakin, he's a great lightsaber duelist. He's just not super intelligent when he gets riled. Don't get me wrong. Anakin's super intelligent, but if you get in Anakin's head and you push him to do things that he shouldn't do, he will bite. He will bite if you get him mad enough. And the thing is, like, Vader's pretty much the expert at pissing people off and getting them to make mistakes. More than even Obi-Wan was. Vader literally attacks you on a mental field as well as a physical field. And I think that Anakin's biggest weak spot is his mental battlefield.
There's not a moment where you see Darth Vader fighting anybody where he doesn't just intimidate you to death before the fight. He'll talk down to
Except
you.
the rebels, but I mean that doesn't even count. You're talking like a duel.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's like Vader just he'll talk to you like if it's your last moment right before you are taken out.
Yeah,
it's really awesome.
I love in Star Wars Rebels when Ezra says, "I'm not afraid of you," and then Darth Vader says, "Then you will die braver than most." Like that is such a great line. But at the same time, physically, Anakin and with the Force beats Vader. It's just a fact. Like Vader has a cybernetic suit, but don't get me wrong, that cybernetic suit is not as big as an advantage as all of the physical prowess and the raw ability to touch the Force that Anakin has.
Yeah.
But at the same time, Anakin's very not a super weak, but he is weak on the mental battlefield where Vader is super strong. That's kind of where I'm standing.
How would Anakin win then? Would Anakin just
How would he
win?
go about winning?
Yes. If you said because it was 55, right?
Yeah.
Then what would Anakin have to do in order for him to win?
I think he would have to tap into the dark side of the Force, but also be smart. He would have to win the same way that he beat Dooku, where he would have to feel the dark side of the Force, but also kind of remain a little bit calm and collected. He couldn't fall so deep that he did with Obi-Wan. I think where he was with Dooku would be the mindset where Anakin would win.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And he's not going to be able to smash through Vader's defenses. That's not going to happen. He's going to have to cut around Vader. He's going to have to be faster than Vader.
Yeah.
And it's
speed.
No, like that's a real thing. He's going to have to be faster than Vader, and he's going to have to play it smart. But at the same time, it's hard because you're fighting against a master. So that's kind of where I think. What are you thinking, Anthony?
I just think that it would really all rely on Anakin's mental prowess, like you were saying earlier, because that's his biggest downfall in like every fight he's lost. I think he's not mentally prepared for it. He gets too conflicted emotionally, or he gets too angry, and like sometimes that could help, especially if he were to be tapped into the dark side. But in the point in a lot of like the prequels where he's not tapped into the dark side, but he's dealing with anger. It's not something that helps him become more powerful. It's something that makes him weaker. And only until he turns to the dark side does it make him more powerful. So if like at the end of Revenge of the Sith, if you took that Anakin and he wasn't necessarily like hateful against Obi-Wan and more just very like trying to like cleverly fight Darth Vader, you know what I mean? Like if you took that power but you removed the personal hatred for Obi-Wan, I'm sure that he would be a lot more effective.
Yeah, he'd be more sound. Like because he has this real intense hatred for Obi-Wan when he enters that fight.
Yeah.
Because in his mind, Obi-Wan is literally the one that has taken his wife away from him.
Yeah.
When if you look at Anakin fighting all these Jedi in the Jedi Temple, like you have Sindralig, who's a battle master, literally dozens of Jedi that he brutally mows down in the temple. He has a hatred for those Jedi, but his hatred for them is not blinding yet.
Yeah.
That's kind of what Yoda thinks when he's like
emotional.
Yeah.
He's holding on to a lot of stuff in his past, and he's like, the way he talks, he's like almost crying. So it's like he's struggling a lot. He's still very conflicted, even though he's turned to the dark side and he's filled with this hatred, but he's still kind of conflicted, you know? And that's ultimately what his downfall was at the end of Revenge of the Sith. But if you were to take all that away and just leave him with his power and a calm mind, that's when he would be the most effective against Vader.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Vader will be able to goad Anakin into doing anything that he wants him to do.
Yeah.
So Vader's going to be beaten down, busted up, but he's going to attack Anakin really effectively on the mental battleground, and he's going to see one opening, and the fight's going to be over.
Yeah.
He's going to you can even say that he's going to allow Anakin to stab Vader in like the hopes that his body his cybernetics will keep him alive for a little bit longer, just so he can go in for one final like thrust through the chest and take out Anakin.
Yeah.
But this is one of the closest fights in all of Star Wars. I say that legitimately.
Well, it makes sense. It's the same guy.
Yeah, but the way they fight is like completely different.
Well, yeah, for sure. I mean, you could tell just by the way Vader fights with only one hand on his saber. You know, like he's very...
Depends who he's fighting.
It depends on who he's fighting and the amount of nervousness he has or apprehension against the opponent.
Which Vader would be immediately apprehensive of Anakin. There would be none of the one-handed on
But
it.
what I'm saying is it's like... Anakin does completely change as a person for obvious reasons. Everything is taken away from him. He's absolutely destroyed physically and is then, put through the mental torture of being Palpatine's new apprentice and stuff like that, and all of the training that he has to go through. He's obviously changed almost for the rest of his life until the very end of Return of the Jedi. But because of that, they're going to be completely different fighters, completely different people. But it is important to know, obviously, it is the same person, just two different points of his life.
Yeah.
And that's why they're going to be close.
I just think it's a fair fight, though, because they're just completely different.
Yeah, they both have advantages and disadvantages.
Right. But I just think that Vader just outclasses Anakin in, like, so many ways that it's not even as... I mean, it's pretty cut and dry, but it's still close.
Yeah.
That's all I got to say. Is, like, Vader is a better lightsaber duelist than Anakin is. It's just pretty much the way it is.
Duelist or Force user?
Duelist.
So both.
No, he's not as powerful of a Force user. He's
definitely
more
smarter with it.
He's just smarter with it.
Yeah, he's more intelligent with his use of the Force.
Doesn't Darth Vader know like every Jedi use of the lightsaber, like the skill they use?
Yeah, he knows all the forms.
Yeah,
he knows every single one of the forms.
So he'll just use the one to counter Anakin.
I think he could. Yeah. Darth Vader is a jack of all trades and a master of all trades, where Anakin uses like form 5. He knows he's more inherently skilled than you, so he doesn't need anything else. And Darth Vader, after his fight with Obi-Wan, was like, holy crap, I may need something else. And that's why Darth Vader is a blade. He's a knife. Darth Vader is literally like a sword if Anakin is a hammer. So Anakin's going to smash you into submission, but Darth Vader will cut you down and the fight will be over before you even realize it. Yeah. With Anakin, you're always going to see the end. So that's pretty much all I got to say.
And he always uses the high ground now when he fights.
Because he's so much taller.
No, because he's learned his lesson.
Oh, it's high ground.
Anthony, shut up.
High ground? High ground?
High ground? Star Wars?
So we got another one. This one I feel like Anthony and Blake may go at it, which I encourage. Get emotional, guys. That's what makes for good podcasting.
I'm confused.
So
let's see.
Please call them names if you want to, Blake.
Ooh.
I feel like we're not going to disagree.
Yeah, I think you're wrong on this one too.
Really?
Yeah. I think
All right. Well, I may disagree just for argument's sake then.
What is it?
Well, I like to argue, so I'll disagree.
So Obi-Wan versus Rey. Rise of Skywalker Rey. Versus Revenge of the Sith Obi-Wan.
Anthony goes first, so I can just counter him.
Obi-Wan wins.
Why?
Because he's just better.
Why?
Because he's been trained with the Jedi, I assume, for the majority of his entire life.
Yeah, since childhood.
Yeah, trained by Qui-Gon Jinn, is Jedi on the High Council, like Jedi Master. Like he's great. He kills
Anakin.
He beats Anakin. He killed Darth Maul when he was an old man in like a second. You know, he's an absolute master in his craft. I think he's probably stronger in the Force in the way that he knows just much more about it than Rey does. And I get it. Rey, threw Palpatine's lightning back in his face and he got all dusted up. But, I think that Obi-Wan would take the fight. I think Rey would be a challenge, but I think Obi-Wan would take it. What do you think, Blakesters?
As much as I hate Obi-Wan, and we all know how much I hate
He
Obi-Wan.
hates Obi-Wan.
Overrated character, but whatever.
Overrated character.
I was going to say champ. I'm not going to lie, I was going to say champ, but yeah. Unfortunately, I have to agree with Anthony on this one. I think the Obi-Wan would win.
You know what? Now I think Rey will win, just because you want Obi-Wan to win.
Why
I don't want Obi-Wan to win.
Or
I
you
want him
think
to
he-
die.
Okay, why would Obi-Wan win, Blake?
Because he beat Anakin.
A plus B does not equal C.
Yes, that's true.
All right. Obi-Wan's just a... Rey... Is Rey actually good with the lightsaber?
Yes.
Yeah, she's pretty good.
Is she okay?
She's not Obi-Wan.
Is she okay?
She's not a better duelist than Obi-Wan.
No. I'm not... Obi-Wan's at, Is she okay with the lightsaber? Is she just okay, or is she actually good with it?
I would say she's
Okay.
She's good with it.
but I think there's a big gap between good and great.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Obi-Wan's great.
Obi-Wan's great.
He literally fought in the Clone Wars.
The Clone Wars.
The Clone Wars,
In the Rise of Skywalker novelization,
Here we go, guys.
Oh no.
Rey is described as a once-in-a-generation talent. Obi-Wan is good, but he is not once in a generation.
One of the very few Jedi to survive Order 66.
Okay.
I mean,
Would she survive Order
Not a
66?
Jedi.
I absolutely think that Rey would survive Order 66.
Anakin would kill her.
Rey is more naturally connected to the dark side of the Force than Anakin.
Okay.
She is a Palpatine. She is a direct descendant of the most powerful character in all of Star Wars.
all right. Here's where I'm going to throw you a curveball.
Yeah.
You ready?
Ready?
Rey, when at the end of the Rise of Skywalker, needed help. Who came to help her? Through the Force to defeat Palpatine. Obi-Wan Kenobi.
So I got
And
to...
Anakin.
Anakin.
Whoa.
This is a terrible point.
So
This
you
is
think...
an awful point.
I know.
I just needed
I'm about
say
to
it.
destroy it. Do you think that if Obi-Wan stood toe-to-toe with Palpatine, that he would win at all?
Which Palpatine?
The Palpatine in The Rise of Skywalker, do you think that he would stand a chance?
Yes.
Wait,
absolutely
one on
crazy.
one?
I think in the
No, that's
exact
not
same
fair.
circumstances, I think he would.
Yes.
Meaning, if Obi-Wan was defeated by Palpatine, and then Obi-Wan looked into the sky and asked for all the Jedi to help him too, I think he would do the same.
Yes.
I think he would be just as powerful.
Also, she
I
would
don't
help.
think he would be at all.
Why?
Because Rey is more naturally talented, exceptionally so, than Obi-Wan ever will be. And so was Anakin. But here's the thing. Anakin and Obi-Wan had a familiarity with one another. Obi-Wan knew exactly how Anakin operated. Rey is just literally a complete mystery to anybody that she fights at any time.
But
because she literally learns Force abilities and how to do everything on the fly. And I realized that that's a product of awful writing.
We understand why that is.
But it's still a fact of that's what it is.
So you're saying that she's Superman and she's Goku. She just gets stronger as she's fighting.
Absolutely, she does get stronger when she's fighting because the more
she's got plot armor.
The more she embraces even like the dark side of the Force, the more ability she learns.
So let's take the plot armor out.
That's not the character of Rey.
That's not how the character works. It's just unfortunate, but it's literally.
So who would win? Rey
is powerful because she can accidentally use Force lightning.
Rey or Anakin?
Yeah.
I think that Rey and Anakin are the absolute two closest people in all of Star Wars as far as like how they are.
All right, who would win?
There are going to be a lot of angry people listening to this.
I know there's going to be a lot of angry people listening to this.
It's so funny.
I'm just taking the character of Rey as it's given to us. I'm not saying
I know.
I'm not picking my favorite character here.
Absolutely.
I'm just saying that like if you take it A versus B, like you got to take into account the whole character.
Yeah, for sure.
Like when you see Kylo Ren, who is a Skywalker, reaches out through the Force to grab the shuttle that they think Chewbacca is in, and Rey matches him. They are literally equals in the Force. Rey is literally the same level as a Skywalker. We've never seen that before. Like maybe Palpatine and Rey are literally like the only characters naturally in Star Wars that compete with a Skywalker. And I don't think that that's something that you should.
Well, I mean, can't you say Obi-Wan competed with a Skywalker?
Not on Force level. Not on.
What about when they put their hands
level?
next to each other and forced each other across the room? Remember that?
I think that's
a good point.
I think
they literally took their hands and it was like we were equals in the Force because we can't push each other.
This is why Brandon says it's the best movie.
I think that's a Force feat. I don't think that means that they're equals in the Force.
That's a good point.
I think that is one isolated feat.
But I think it is also a slap in the face to Obi-Wan to deny his very obvious natural power in the Force. He's even capable of becoming a Force ghost.
Also, he can just talk his way out of that fight.
He could literally just mind wipe Rey and be like, Rey, you're not here to fight me. I'm going to
Rey is not weak with the Jedi mind trick at all.
I know, because Kylo Ren tries to do it in The Force Awakens.
The Jedi mind trick, Kylo Ren doesn't try to Jedi mind trick.
Or tries to get the information out.
Yeah, which is like, we recently learned in The Rise of Skywalker, The Rise of Kylo Ren comic book, that infiltrating the mind is like a dark side version and a more powerful version of the Jedi mind trick.
Yeah.
And if Rey can match Kylo Ren on that mental battlefield, which I think Kylo Ren is really... I think Kylo Ren is better at the mental fighting than Anakin was because he's been inspired by Darth Vader's ability to do it.
Yeah.
So I would say that like Rey is probably definitely able to outmatch Obi-Wan on the mental battlefield. I do. I do agree with the fact that like if they did meet face to face, that Obi-Wan could probably calm Rey down, but that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about a fight. We're not talking about
why would she
diplomacy.
be upset? I think the only reason why she had so much anger against Kylo Ren because she knew how evil he was. When you see Obi-Wan, you're not going to sense any anger, any like hostile environment against him. So she's going to be relaxed. She's not going to be alarmed. She's not going to be on guard. So like Obi-Wan can definitely sneak that in real quick.
I think these fights are more though like take personal feelings out of the equation and
and just have them
just
fight
on a power level specifically with no beef. Like who would win? I don't think that when you compare these characters to be like, oh man, Obi-Wan's just got such a soothing presence. Like, why do we even need to fight?
That's not how it's going to work. It's just think of it like this: the question of who you think would win comes down to this: how much of Obi-Wan's ability to beat Anakin was reliant on how well he knew Anakin?
That's a good point.
That is the question.
He got us there.
What?
He said he got.
Oh, I got you there.
Yeah.
I know that Blake's broken English is very hard to
I'm
understand.
sorry.
So if you say, okay, it had a lot to do with it, then obviously you should say, okay, Rey could probably be Obi-Wan. But if you say it had very little to do with it, Obi-Wan's just a more intelligent fighter, he's a little bit of a better lightsaber duelist potentially, then it would take less away. What I would say to counter that is Dooku handily defeats Obi-Wan
Twice.
in Revenge of the Sith, this same Anakin. So clearly by that happening, it has a lot to do with the fact that he knows Anakin really well. Do you hear what I'm saying?
Yes.
You mean Obi-Wan?
Yeah, Anakin.
No, Obi-Wan knows Anakin.
Oh, okay. Okay, I see what
Come
you're
on,
saying.
Blake.
I was thinking of two different... I was thinking of the Dooku Obi-Wan fight thing. Yeah, my question would be how hard would it be to really decode Rey's fighting style or anything like that?
She might have a fighting style.
No, she does not have a set fighting style, no. Which is why I would say that it's probably really hard.
So, like, in my head, though, it's like Rey has just minimal training in lightsaber combat. Like minimum.
Okay.
So I know that Obi-Wan was definitely like very aware.
He's top tier of a lightsaber fighter.
Yeah, for sure.
He's had more engagements in lightsaber fights.
I would imagine that he would be a much better lightsaber duelist than even Kylo Ren, right? Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
So like when Rey and Kylo Ren fight, it's never like Rey just absolutely dominates Kylo Ren.
No, they're very much equals, and Kylo Ren's better.
Yeah, and then in The Rise of Skywalker, Kylo Ren defeats Rey in a lightsaber duel.
Correct.
So why wouldn't Obi-Wan defeat Rey in a lightsaber duel?
I'm not saying that he wouldn't defeat Rey in a lightsaber duel. I'm saying Rey would win.
Rey would win just...
So what gap do you think is larger? Do you think Rey is more powerful in the Force than Obi-Wan? Do you think that's a bigger gap? Or do you think Obi-Wan is the better duelist than Rey?
I think that...
Because I would argue that Rey is substantially more powerful.
You could
than
definitely
Obi-Wan.
say that Rey is more powerful than Obi-Wan. It's not even you saying it. It's books and movies
This is facts,
and
right.
facts or whatever. Point is, in lightsaber duels, I feel like the emphasis of the fight is reliant on the lightsabers.
Right.
I think that the dueling aspect is not something that should be so ignored. You know what I mean?
I don't think it should be ignored either, but Obi-Wan has shown a weakness to attacks that are force-based during lightsaber fights. Something that we know Rey is willing to use. We've seen Rey stop a lightsaber with her use of the with using the Force. Like a lightsaber is swung at her, and she uses the Force to like stop it.
Yeah.
Which is incredibly difficult to do. Because not only are you trying to use the Force to stop a blade, but you're also going against the brute force of somebody else's Force abilities.
Yeah.
And you have to bypass that in order to stop the blade. So my big thing is we've seen Palpatine do this before. We know that Rey learned this ability from Kylo Ren, but what's stopping Rey from just brutally just stopping Obi-Wan and stabbing him?
I mean, I guess nothing. I mean, when are we going to take into account that Ewan McGregor is the actor who played Obi-Wan and that he gets bonus points for that as well?
Hey, are you guys submitting? Is it over, or do you guys
I
have
just
any
don't
more
like
points?
to argue.
This is what good podcasting is.
I'm just
That's
glad
a joke. I
I'm
love
just glad that
arguing with
Obi-Wan
you.
loses, so I'm okay with this. That's fine. If
So
I'm wrong,
no,
that
but
Obi-Wan-
do you guys have any more points?
No, I think it's just disappointing.
Yeah, I kind of agree with it.
It's like-
so sad.
It's like Rey is a fine character, I guess.
So does Rey beat Anakin?
No.
Oh, that would make me so upset.
No.
So Obi-Wan beats Anakin,
But Rey.
but Rey doesn't beat Anakin.
Because of the familiarity. Did you guys give up?
Yes, I submit.
I never submit. We'll just what's the next
No, do you
question?
submit?
Next question.
No,
please.
submit, because I got something.
I have spoken.
Submit.
This is the way.
This is the way.
This
Do
is
it.
the way.
Submit.
Do it.
Do
All right,
it. Do it.
I scoop.
You submit?
I submit.
I think Obi-Wan would beat Rey.
I'm so.
I'm not even kidding.
I'm done.
Of course he would.
This is how he has so much knowledge, right? He just wanted to argue with us. Hey guys, by the way,
I'm just toying with you. I'm Snoke. And you two are Kylo Ren and
you
Rey.
need to be played. You need to be played just so I win $20.
I think that the sheer experience of Obi-Wan and the
I'm so
lightsaber
upset
duel,
right now.
That's what I said twice.
and I think that him coming against so many people that have just
He's so upset right now.
I think that Dooku's use of the Force when he stops Obi-Wan is so refined, and Rey is just so all over the place. Like Anthony is slumped back in his chair.
He wants to end it.
You pissed?
He's like, I fought so well.
Literally
And
every
then
point
nothing
I made
happened.
was correct.
But at least you're correct.
And I lost because I gave in. So I'm mad.
That's why you need to join the dark side.
I'm going to join the dark side.
I think that
Screw Obi-Wan. It's all about Anakin.
Told you! I've been
all
telling
about
you.
my boy Annie.
I think
Pyro?
that it shows in Obi-Wan's just pure experience.
He beat Anakin!
Fought the Clone Wars.
No, like for real.
Trained by Jedi Masters and became a Jedi Master. himself.
Obi-Wan's training compared to Rey is so superior. He's been
Obi-Wan trained Luke Skywalker.
he's been in so many lightsaber duels. Rey is all over the place with her Force abilities, but she's more powerful inherently in the Force than Obi-Wan is. But I mean, a lot of my points that I was bringing up to try and win the argument were conjecture. It's just like, well, what if Rey is capable of doing this, or what if Rey? It's no points of her actually doing it.
Yeah.
Obi-Wan has proved in battle. He defeated Anakin Skywalker. In large part because I think he knew him, but I also think that he would put up a fight if he didn't know him. And I think that just Rey is so undertrained, and really a lot like Anakin, but even less so than Anakin, piggybacks off of her raw Force potential. And I think that Obi-Wan, because of the fact he's not the most powerful guy on the block, has adapted so well to become as powerful and as acclaimed as he is. So I think that Obi-Wan would beat Rey. I think that it'd be really close. I would even say like 3 points away from one another.
Wow.
Do you guys hate me?
Only on the inside.
Yeah.
Only on the
Only
inside?
on the inside.
You guys hate me? I'm sorry.
I can't believe Obi-Wan wins again.
Another traumatizing moment in Blake's life.
Well, just because I say Obi-Wan wins or I say Darth Vader wins literally doesn't make it fair, or like doesn't make it true or factual. This is all... I feel like such an idiot having to say this over and over again, but this is all just like hearsay. This is all just like what I believe would happen. It's not actually... Until the two characters fight in Star Wars, this
means nothing.
It's all just...
I disagree. This is the final word. All we say is correct.
All of what is happening right now is just what we would be talking about if there was no microphones. We would just be like, oh, who would win in this fight?
Yeah, obviously though, it's like you can use common sense in these duels as well. It's like obviously Palpatine.
And then my boy had to mental Jedi mind trick my face.
Obviously, Palpatine is gonna be a character like Ahsoka. You don't even have to like theorize about any of that.
Yeah.
And obviously, Palpatine and Kylo Ren are gonna be characters like I don't know, like Coleman Trebor from Attack of the Clones. Obviously, Kylo Ren's gonna beat him. But you can use common sense. But the point I'm trying to make is just because I say that I think that this is what's gonna happen does not voice it into reality.
Yeah.
With all that said, we got a little bit of Star Wars news pertaining to powerful individuals and a confirmation directly from a Star Wars source.
Ooh.
That
News? You got news?
in the Rise of Skywalker novelization, it basically says that Leia is more naturally gifted in the Force than Luke Skywalker.
Ooh.
And that if she continued her Jedi path, she would be more powerful than Luke. How do we feel?
I don't mind it. I don't mind it because it doesn't mean anything as far as like diminishing the power of Luke Skywalker,
Yes,
because it's literally just one of them completed the training, you know? That's it. If the other one did, like, what would stop Leia from potentially being more powerful than Luke? If their bloodline is the same and if she was just more inclined to be naturally gifted in the Force, like, what would be wrong with that? We just don't see it, but that doesn't mean anything, you know? What does it mean to you, Blake?
Nothing would be wrong with it, but it's just like Obi-Wan and Yoda put all the marbles into Luke. Into Luke, and they were like, "You're the only one that can save us."
Not true. Not true.
Is that? Oh wait. In Empire Strikes Back, when they said there's another person, were they talking about Leia?
Correct.
Yes.
So...
Oh, I knew it.
I wonder if all this playing with the microphone is going to pick up.
Sorry. I've been
They're literally pulling the microphone
I feel
back
like I've been talking a lot, so I've been pushing the microphone towards Blake because I really do think Blake is naturally talented at this, and we just need to let him shine. He's our Anakin, and we need to uncage him.
You see, that's
from
what
the
I'm telling
Jedi
you guys. You're holding me back.
So keep talking.
More.
Wait, no. So wait, go on. So Obi-Wan knew that Leia could have like
Yoda knew.
I
Obi-Wan
thought
says that.
Obi-Wan.
No, it's Yoda.
Yoda knew?
says it.
So why does Yoda not like convince Obi-Wan to like go train Leia? Like, hey, like Leia's also just as strong. Let's train both of them.
I don't think
Obi-Wan's
the plan
committed to Luke.
Was the plan ever to train either of them, or was it to just watch over them?
It's just to hide them, I think.
It's just to hide them, right? There was never. I don't think
yeah,
there was,
no. The plan was to hide them, and when Luke says, "LOL, I'm gonna leave you guys. I'm gonna go fight for my friends no matter what." Like,
Yeah.
the plan of hiding them is over.
Yeah, but Obi-Wan and
why not
Yoda
adapt?
weren't communicating.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, they were.
Well,
What?
when were they like?
Yoda was
Through the
training
Force
Obi-Wan.
communicating,
Okay, through the
correct.
Force, but like,
Come on, bro.
okay, yeah, but what I'm saying is, it's not like Leia wasn't in any sort of position.
She wasn't in a position. Leia was always the one that Yoda wanted to train. Yoda never wanted to train Luke.
Yeah.
Yoda is deeply afraid of Luke, or was deeply afraid of Luke, because when he sees Luke, he literally just sees another Anakin.
Yeah.
And he gets PTSD. When he sees Leia, he sees somebody more refined, more responsible, more adult, a better potential Jedi.
Yeah, for
which
sure.
is what the Rise of Skywalker novelization again confirms. I said this in my video that's going to be releasing. Luke Skywalker would be the more powerful Sith if Luke and Leia both turned to the dark side. But by Leia's own nature, Leia is more loving than Luke. She's more trusting than Luke, more understanding, more politically minded. I would even say in a lot of ways more intelligent than Luke, simply by upbringing. Therefore, that makes her the better Jedi. She thinks through problems. Even in the Rise of Skywalker novelization, it talks about Luke being arrogant and taunting Leia, like, when I did this exercise, I only had one hand that I was standing on, and Yoda was on my feet, and Leia's trying her best, and she doesn't let that upset her.
Yeah.
When Luke, on the other hand, is very much like Anakin. It's like, I'm powerful, and I'm the best, and I'm going to tell you that I'm the best. Now, when Luke got older, that very much changed in a lot of ways. Luke's still fearful of a lot, but he's more understanding. He's the better Anakin. Like in the Battlefront 2 campaign, when Luke frees the Imperial officer, and the Imperial officer is like, "Why did you do that?" And Luke's just like, "Because you asked." Yeah. It's an example.
He's graceful.
He's graceful, but at the same time, it makes sense that Leia would be more inclined to be the more powerful Jedi.
Yeah. Well, I think it's a good point to bring up her upbringing. Because, I mean, Luke grew up in a desert, with his aunt and uncle. We've been recording for 37 minutes and 30 seconds.
Oh, awesome.
I just got a little bit of a tap on the old stupendous wave wrist saying, how long has this been going
So
on?
who would win in a fight? We're doing versus. Why not ask
Okay.
this question?
All right.
If Leia gets trained,
If Leia was trained and she was a perfect Jedi, and Luke was trained and became a perfect Sith,
please
who
be Luke.
wins
Please
this
be
fight?
Luke.
That's so much. That's too much speculation.
Okay.
To
Okay,
give
who
a good
cares?
answer.
Then speculate. Do it.
Do it.
This is your punishment for being a jerk.
I agree. You're a jerk.
I think that Luke would win because in life, the dark side is more naturally powerful than the light side.
Yeah.
That's why it literally takes all the Jedi to stop Palpatine.
Yeah. It's a great point.
And that's why Darth Vader is more powerful than like an Anakin who's pure. If dark side Darth Vader without any injuries versus light side Anakin without any injuries, the dark side Darth Vader wins.
That's a scary dark side.
Because think of it like this: Palpatine, who's a dark sider, who may have a smaller midichlorian count than Yoda. I'm not sure if that's confirmed, but it's possible.
Possible.
He's way more powerful than Yoda. So I think that just because the dark side of the Force...
I think he is higher than Yoda. I'm sorry to interrupt you. I definitely think
I'm not sure if it's ever been confirmed.
Yeah. I would just assume because he helped... Well, did he help create Anakin or did...
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, so then...
Him and Plagueis.
Wait, I don't...
That's a Legends explanation.
Oh, okay, never mind.
They poured their evil intent into the Midi-chlorians of the Force.
And the
and
Midi-chlorians
conceived
fought
a child
back.
of pure evil.
Yeah, so...
No, that's not true.
No, I know.
The Midi-chlorians fought back and then created a being that would destroy the Sith.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I would assume that he had more than Yoda. But that's just obviously,
Speculation as far as I'm concerned.
So, as far as the Midi-chlorian count goes, and sorry if this is off track, so it's like, if you have a lower Midi-chlorian count than another person, does that mean that you just can never achieve the force feats that the other person would have? Because I feel like Palpatine achieves force feats that Yoda couldn't, even if Yoda had a higher count.
No, Luke Skywalker describes it in the Rise of Kylo Ren novelization of opening a door. Mm-hmm. He says some people start with their door cracked and a little bit wider open than other doors. Some people start with their doors completely shut. That means they can't use the Force at all and it's locked. But just because your door isn't as widely open as another individual's door doesn't mean that you can't open it.
Okay. That's interesting. Because literally, when we're talking about like midichlorian counts, I'm just thinking of
It's
when
basically
Palpatine launches all the lightning in the sky and destroys all the ships.
It's basically a starting point.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's interesting. Oh, good old midichlorians.
Where it's like, think of it like this. I love basketball. If you're 5'8",
like me.
If you're Anthony's height, if you're 5'8",
really?
I think I'm 5'9", but I might be 5'8".
If you're 5'8", 200.
I want to believe I'm 5'9".
If you're 5'8", 260 pounds, like Anthony,
me.
Anthony's
I don't
not
weigh
200.
260 pounds.
He's close.
He's not close.
If you're like that, and you just like ball hard all of your life,
Like me.
and refine your skills in dribbling, shooting, passing, and you just develop a really high IQ for basketball. Mm-hmm. When on the other hand you have a 6'7" guy who's really tall, he's skinny, he's lengthy, but
Like
he never touches a basketball in his whole life.
Also like you.
You're obviously gonna take the 5'8" guy. Mm-hmm. That's how midichlorians work.
Yeah.
Amen.
Amen.
So to answer the question, I guess dark side Luke would beat light side Leia.
Nice.
But good side Luke would lose to good side Leia.
Probably. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Good side.
Good side. Good side, bad side.
Good
Side, bad side. Yes side, no side.
Well, y'all, I think we should save our Darth Vader for Grievous for another video.
Oh, we could do that. I mean, this one's already 42 minutes and 8 seconds at this point.
We appreciate you guys watching it. We love you all. Thank you for the support and the interactions, even if some of them aren't very nice.
And stay inside, guys. It's a dangerous time out there.
It really is a dangerous time.
The coronavirus is coming to get all of us.
Please don't go to Publix.
Don't. But
if you guys want to eventually hunt down Blake,
please don't.
He works at a Publix in Florida. Good luck. May the Force be with you.
Yes. And watch all these videos while you're quarantined in your houses and trying to find things to pass the time. The Stupendous Wave is a great outlet for all of your nerdy needs. And as you're starving because you've run out of food supplies and you're wiping your butt with leaves because there's no more toilet paper, just remember that Darth Vader would absolutely win in a fight against Anakin, and that Obi-Wan would win in a fight against Rey.
Anything else?
No.
May the Force be with you, and have a great day.